Even if I can play first game at He's facing the TV there and block off. No.
Kobe Bryant for winning over everything. He was an asshole, a hopeless romantic, and an obsessive maniac. But how good was he actually? Early life and road to the NBA. Kobe's dad may have been a millionaire. This didn't make Kobe's life easy. Like Will Smith, Kobe was born in Philadelphia. His father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, played for the 76ers. After 8 years in the NBA, Jellybean moved his family to Italy to play basketball abroad. Kobe was just 6 years old. He didn't speak a lick of Italian. Switching schools every time his father changed teams didn't help. Cherry on top, he was the only black kid in all of them. This shaped Kobe as a person and a player, struggling to fit in. He always gravitated towards basketball. He learned to play in isolation for hours. Basketball became his safe space, where he could prove himself against the kids who didn't accept him. But he wasn't playing. He watched NBA games on VHS. He dreamt of becoming an NBA player. Kobe was 13. Bryant's family returned to Philadelphia. Once again, he was alienated because he didn't know American slang. He would silence those who teased him on the basketball court. Bryant was obsessive about the game from a very early age, but worked on his basketball skills tirelessly. As an upperclassman, he played all 5 positions for Lower Merion High School and averaged 31 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 blocks. Senior year, he led Lower Merion to their first state championship in 50 years, and was named Naismith High School Player of the Year and the McDonald's All-American. There was a huge hype about where he'd go to college, and Kobe surprised everybody. Bryant organized a press conference and announced that he would skip college and take his talents to the NBA. Kobe was just the 6th player in history to go to the NBA directly from high school. So naturally, NBA executives were reluctant to draft him, but after he destroyed Michael Cooper in practice, Lakers GM Jerry West knew that he was watching the best pre-draft workout he'd ever seen. The best player in the 1996 draft. West was so determined to draft Kobe that he finessed the Charlotte Hornets into drafting Bryant, trading him to LA for Vlade Divac. Brash youngster. I'm Kobe Bryant, and I'm not going to get punked by anybody. That was the first thing Kobe said at his first training camp practice. He let the other Lakers know he's no ordinary rookie. Even as a skinny young kid, Kobe was fearless from the get-go, relentless in every practice, every game. Kobe entered the 1997 Slam Dunk Contest. Won. His teammates lovingly called him Showboat. It wasn't all good. His first playoff series, Bryant famously shot 4 air balls in overtime against Utah. By his second season, he was already averaging 15 points per game. He even became the youngest all-star starter in NBA history. But didn't start on his own team. His most memorable moments from '98 were playing against Black Jesus. MJ was impressed by Kobe on how he would unapologetically ask for advice. He wasn't starstruck by tweeting. Kobe went on to finish second in the 6th Man of the Year voting. Come playoffs, Lakers would repeat history and lose to Utah. In 1999, Kobe finally became a permanent starter and averaged 20 points per game. Though this wouldn't stop the Lakers from getting swept in the playoffs. The Lakers knew something had to change, so they appointed Phil Jackson as the new head coach. Laker dynasty.
Body.
In 1998, Shaq and Kobe had their first fight, and O'Neal nearly decapitated Bryant. However, Phil Jackson was called the Zen Master for a reason. He challenged O'Neal to get into the best shape of his life. Shaq dominated like never before. Kobe was an all-star, averaging 22, 6, and 5, and the Lakers were firing on all cylinders. They went on to win 67 games in the regular season, which was the 5th best result in NBA history. Shaq won the MVP trophy, was named to the All-NBA second team, and was the youngest player ever to be selected.
Nope, it's not happening, buddy.
But once again, playoffs were no cakewalk for the Lakers. It was the 4th quarter of Game 7 in the Western Finals. The Lakers were losing by 15 against Portland. Everyone thought it was the end for the Lakers. Until Kobe and Shaq powered one of the best comebacks in NBA history. Bryant was phenomenal in the clutch. His crossover on Scottie Pippen and the alley-oop to Shaq clinched the game and the series. But their work wasn't finished. They still had the finals against the Pacers. In Game 2, it happened. Jalen Rose had deliberately put his feet under Kobe in Game 2. Which was forced to miss Game 3. Indiana comfortably won that. The Pacers didn't realize one resilient SOB. He returned in Game 4 with a vengeance. Shaq got ejected. Kobe put the team on his shoulders and carried them to a win. The Lakers would break the Pacers in 6 games, and Kobe jumped in Shaq's arms to celebrate their first ever title together. However, things never stayed good for long between Shaq and Kobe. After the first title, Shaq was content, so content. He spent his summer eating burgers and drinking pina coladas. Kobe, on the other hand, spent the summer in the gym. So when he had seen Shaq in the preseason out of shape, Kobe lost his mind. Their feud started again. But Shaq's laziness gave Kobe more opportunities to dominate. Bryant averaged a career-high 28.5 points per game. And thankfully, once the playoffs came, Shaq was the athletic beast he was the year before. The Lakers were unstoppable. They swept all 3 series in the Western Conference. Who would stop them from doing the same in the finals? Well, he was small. He was a problem. His name was Allen Iverson. AI mercilessly dropped 48 into the Staples Center, stepped over Tyronn Lue, and won Game 1 for the Sixers. But Shaq and Kobe took AI's disrespect personally, and they couldn't let that slide. The Lakers came back and won the next 4 games to clinch their 2nd consecutive title. Their 15-1 playoff run was the best in history until 2017, when the Warriors went 16-1. In 2002, Kobe led the Lakers in assists, and he averaged 25 per game. Mamba made the first All-NBA team for the first time in his career, plus the first team All-Defense. He also won the All-Star Game MVP, and the Lakers continued to dominate the opposition until they reached the conference finals with the Sacramento Kings. The Kings were the best team throughout the season. Chris Webber was playing at the MVP level. The Kings took a 3-2 lead in the series. To be honest, they would have probably won Game 6 too, had it not been for one of the worst refereeing jobs in NBA history. The refs stole that win for the Lakers. But LA won Game 7 fair and square. In the finals, they quickly dismantled the Nets in 4 games. Shaq was the Finals MVP for the 3rd time in a row, and Kobe became the youngest player ever with 3 championships.
Mine's have more.
Fallout with Shaq.
Mine's have more.
In 2002, Kobe was one of the best offensive players in the game. He knew when to shoot and when to pass. The problem was, sometimes he didn't want to pass. Kobe, being one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, always guarded the best opposing guard in the clutch. He understood the game tactically. He had all the moves and counter moves. In 2003, he dropped 55 on Jordan. He averaged over 32 points in the playoffs. The Spurs were too strong that year. The only thing that Kobe had not fully mastered was emotional intelligence.
No, what's
Being a leader.
no.
In 2004, his beef with Shaq became
off.
unbearable. Both Shaq and Kobe acted childishly. Kobe did Shaq dirty after discussing Shaq's marriage with the media. Ironic, because he was also going through a court case in Colorado, which proved his own infidelity. Craziest part is at the same time as his trial, Kobe was playing in the playoffs. It takes a cold-blooded individual to be facing a lengthy jail sentence and still go out to perform as well as he did. The Lakers added Karl Malone and Gary Payton, so everybody thought they would be crowned champions again. But Kobe beefed with both Shaq and Malone. Lack of chemistry showed its ugly head when it was most important. Kobe was forcing things in the finals against the Pistons. He took by far the most shots on the team, despite hitting only 38% from the field and 17% for 3. The Lakers lost in 5 games. Something had to change, so Shaq was traded to Miami, and Kobe had the chance to prove that he could win without it. Individual greatness. Kobe was a maniac. For all the kids out there that want to be like Kobe, here's some advice. Don't do it. Kobe was 1 in a billion. He ran himself into the ground to become a perfect basketball player. He was in the gym up to 3 times a day, and he wouldn't leave practice without making 400 shots. But it was because Kobe was such a maniac that he produced some of the greatest memories for basketball fans around the world. In 2005, he scored 62 points against the Mavs in just 3 quarters, and 3 weeks later, he notoriously scored 81 against the Raptors, second highest scoring game in NBA history.
Bro, I'm getting sprayed by a whole bunch of people.
31 in 06.
Let me fight one person at a time.
Kobe led the league in scoring, and his highlights of that era were a thing of beauty. But that same year, the Lakers somehow missed the playoffs, and in 06 and 07, they lost to the Suns in the first round. Despite Mamba's heroics, game winners in the clutch, he still wasn't proven as a true team player or leader. Buenos dias, pal. Kobe's selfishness almost got him traded to Detroit during the 2007-2008 season, but that fell through, and in Instead, the Lakers traded for Pau Gasol, one of the best European players ever. The additions of Gasol, Trevor Ariza, and the emergence of Andrew Bynum, the Lakers finally became championship contenders again. LA clinched the #1 seed, and Mamba was named the regular season MVP. They dominated the West, made it to the finals against the Boston Celtics. With Tom Thibodeau, a defensive mastermind, and his revolutionary ice defense, the Celtics would load up defenders on Kobe in the finals, forcing Bryant to get rid of the ball or take tough shots against multiple defenders. Kobe was the best player in the world at the time, but Boston had a better team that season. The Celtics won in 6 games. After winning the 2008 Olympics with Team USA against Spain, Kobe left the gold medal in front of Pau Gasol's locker to rile him up for the season. He needed Pau to be aggressive. He played similar tricks on other teammates and was finally learning to be a leader. Kobe took it upon himself to hang out socially and bond with his teammates to learn what made them tick. He now knew he couldn't win the title by himself. In 2009, Bryant was playing the best and most mature basketball of his life. He led the Lakers to win the championship and earned the Finals MVP award. In 2010, the Lakers made the finals once more and had a chance at revenge against the Celtics. But as usual, there was a problem. Kobe was playing with a bone spur in his ankle and a broken finger on his shooting hand. As you would imagine, he couldn't shoot the ball well. This series, in particular, was pretty ugly. But things were different than they were years ago. Kobe and the Lakers learned to play like a team and took the series to Game 7. Kobe shot 6 from 24, incapable of putting the game away by himself. But with his Mamba mentality, he'd rather die than lose to the Celtics twice. Bryant had 15 rebounds that game, and he was doing everything possible to win. Then in the last minute, Ron Artest would hit a 3. The Lakers prevailed. Kobe got his 5th title that night. And when a reporter asked what the title means for him, Kobe truthfully and sarcastically answered, just got one more than Shaq. Lakers' downfall and Kobe's legacy. In 2011 and 2012, Kobe was still his usual self, scoring and trying to win the title at any cost. But the Lakers were once again struggling. So in 2013, they traded for Dwight Howard, and Howard was a terrible fit. It was obvious that Kobe's athleticism was slowly fading. Then, as if things weren't already bad enough, it happened. Kobe snapped his Achilles, the most devastating injury in basketball. Kobe made his 2 free throws and walked himself off the court like a...
Why do I go for me when they get the guns,
right in the
bro?
locker room. He was still determined to come back stronger. Thing is, even with the Mamba mentality...
What are you talking about, bro? What you following me for?
It was the shoulder.
Oh, gosh.
And in
Your name
2016, it was
WT?
obvious that
What the hell?
everything was hurting. That's when Kobe wrote Dear Basketball, his love letter to the sport. It was the best retirement announcement in the history of sports. He opened a door into his beautiful and deep personality, which only a few people knew existed. Kobe had finally let his guard down for the first time in his life. He was no longer an asshole. He was kind. He was jovial. He was giving. The whole NBA gave him a retirement tour and honored his legacy to the game of basketball. Bryant sucked for the majority of that season. I think he dunked the ball maybe once that year. But in the final game of his career, against an opponent who was fighting for a playoff spot, Kobe played one of the best games of his career. His mother effort dropped 60. He literally made every shot in the clutch, with almost no lift in his legs. And just like Jordan inspired him, he became an inspiration to millions of kids around the world who would all yell Kobe while throwing their homework in the trash.
Also, guys, just from this last, I just want to say this video is sponsored by Dognasis. Dognasis is an awesome mobile gaming streaming mode. You can play anytime, anywhere, and stream battles with animations. It has a quick level up system with free resources and an immersive battle experience shooting 3D visuals and compelling background music. You can play with your friends and other players in things such as Battle Royale in the multiverse, limited time to cross over 5v5 or 10v10 battles. There's a unique weapon system with items such as spirits, which will be used as a mount for players to move faster, or they can turn into weapons depending on each character build. The wings lets players use different styles of designs, and the companion system lets players take them along for the journey. Lastly, there are 4 classes.
Is this about it? Yes, it was, boys. Now we're stopped. What's he stopped from? What? That was actually what I did. I meant to get stuff going. Round 1.
No shield, bro. Be tough. I know what you was doing. I'm not dumb. You know why I didn't hit that, bro? You know why I didn't hit that, bro? I don't know. I just got home. This
Strength? Thanks. Yes.
Oh, my fault. I ain't know I might just need it. Oh,
Are you good, bro? I was asking you if you want something to play. I'm getting something. Are you good, bro? But this is, I really think you're good, bro. I'm asking you if you want something to play. Are you good? But no. You're winning.
Good. I fuck nuts every day.
you're gay.
Huh?
This dude said he sucked nuts.
Oh, Mongo?
No, and this is good.
You are good. What did I do?
No.
Perdona. Hortaliza para tu casa, Elsa. Anda a comer con tu prima.
Yeah. He's fully boxed. Stop
A tu
spamming.
casa, gorda puta.
Stop with it, so. Ooh, he's shooting me.
Have you just do this?
Ya miro la retraizarteo. Aunque sea mi primera partida del día.
Oh yeah?
Hola, hola.
Second. I'm sorry, but you're doo-doo.
Elsa para tu casa.
Doofy?
Okay, shoot.
You speak in English?
Yeah, man,
¿Hablas español o inglés?
Mi hermano está. Yes.
You speak in English?
Mi hermano está. He's a tryhard.
Not trying too hard, buddy. Stop taking the game so serious.
Hey.
Hello?
Hello. Hey.
Yes? Bucket? Elimination.
Ain't no way that's not what you're doing.
Huh?
Ano plata
You
nito?
said to me and
Wall.
Liam before. I did it because I was following the video. Hey. I was following the video. Hey. Hello? Yo.
Hello, motherfucker.
And what that mean? I'm the bunny.
Oh. That's my house. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I need healing for Nothing. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my body?
4500 de experiencia por matar a alguien. Ah, literalmente le pongo tryhard.
I hit those.
Morí.
And then once.
O me sale uno o me sale dos.
I surrender.
Taking my kill, bro. What's wrong with my wall?
Japan. Oh, Japan. I want to try strange. I want to know strange.
What skin are you?
Hey, are you live right now?
What did you say?
Are you
My
live?
name is
Yeah.
True.
I'm watching it.
No.
Oh, bunny.
My aim's not working. I'm better watching.
Puff, te llamo a Victoria y no ganas nunca.
Come on, boy. Boom. Finish.
Can you please pass me my phone, Mir? Mir, can you please pass me my phone?
Make him kiss the wall. Wait, did you?
10 seconds and you get 10
You see you watching?
Now can you see?
How did you? See you
Now
watching?
can you see, Leon?
What?
I want to switch.
Mama. Oof.
Shit.
So clean.
Anta jugar a chalai.
Jugar.
season.
Do some challenges.
And we're going to be having a blast here today. How many crown wins am I at? Let's go. Let's count it up. Count it up. Count it up. We are at 9 crown wins. I'd love to see it. I also got to a pretty high level, and I loved this little pet bath. So I actually really think this kid is probably my favorite combo. So I'm pretty excited. Just refresh. Ain't got anything too crazy. They
Didn't I do good, Tom, to guessing?
the next week or so. And then we got fish stick bundle, dreams, tree shadows, and all that. So if you guys can cop any of that, or if you're brand new battle pass with
I'm throwing bombs up for me.
you want to support me for free, all you gotta do is support creator at the bottom corner, and then
Is there any email? Somebody dating is me.
Get this started.
How well?
Get everybody in chat.
Clips.
How you do that?
Everybody, how you guys doing? I uploaded a banger video today. Every season I do this video where I go over what I think would be the best landing spot to get the most wins, best XP. I uploaded that video on TG Play. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and subscribe to the bell over to that channel where you just hit over 5 million subscribers on that channel. So go subscribe to the bell and then stay tuned for daily videos on that channel. I think starting tomorrow, we're going to upload double uploads for the next couple of days, so I'm excited for it. And also, I just want to let you guys know that it's my birthday in 2 days, March 23rd. Look it up. Go type in Kid Gamer birthday, okay? Type it in. You'll see my birthday. I'm trying to think of like a birthday challenge to do for TG Plays. Any ideas? Birthday challenge. I'm turning 30. I'm turning old, man. I'm turning 30 on March 23rd. No, you can't.
Déjense matar para ganar experiencia, porfa. Les doy todas mis monedas.
So I think I'll stream tomorrow, but I won't be streaming on my birthday itself. This is where you got a secret little thing planned for me. Then I'll be streaming every other day besides that. And I'll have uploads every day on TV Plays, so 30 bomb, 30 kill win, bro. I think they would drop 30 kill win. 30 crowns by my birthday. I also don't think that's gonna happen. I would be kind of insane. I would need 21 more crowns. Yeah, I need something. 30 seconds to lose is pretty good. Do it? I don't know, man. That'd be pretty tough. I'm just gonna hide myself.
Is my God good?
Only butter cakes, dude. Butter cakes. Someone tell me, guys. I'm not gonna tell.
Is my guy good? He's messed up.
Solo squads, you can get 30 limbs. But with no building, I don't. Me, if I was on a fresh account and I went to solo arena, I could do it. But it's gonna be hard otherwise. Kill every 30 seconds.
Hey guys, so this video, I'm going to be showing off the 7 best drop spots in Chapter 3, Season 1. Now, before you go ahead and complain in the comments that I ruined these spots and that I'm the reason they're over-contested, just hear me out for a second. The point of this video...
What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is my guide on how to gain arena points fast in Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 2. In this video, we'll be covering the point system, the best game mode to play for points, and other various tips that will help you play better and gain far more points in the current season. Before we get into it though, be sure to drop a like if this video helps you out, and consider subscribing if you're new and want to see more content just like this in the future. And lastly, if you want to help your boy out a bit extra, then consider using code TAG on the Fortnite item shop, as it's 100% free and it really does help me out have a ton. But with that said, and without further ado, let's get into today's video. So starting off this video, guys, what we're going to do is discuss the point system for this season. Now, I do want to let you guys know ahead of time that before I do go over the point system, that it's not 100% certain yet whether this will remain the point system the entire season. Since the season started about 5 days ago or so at the time I'm recording this video, it's possible that Epic makes some adjustments once arena points reset, or there's also a chance that they don't do anything and this remains the point system for the whole time. But with that said, as of right now, here are the point systems for all game modes. First up, we've got solos, which is on the screen right now. Then we've got duos, which is up right now. And lastly, we've got trios, which you can see here. If you want to pause and look at any of those game modes, then that's perfectly fine. But with that said, the basic premise of every game mode is that the ability to gain points slowly deteriorates as you rank up, since you get less points per kill and some placement points are removed as well. And if you guys don't know yet, this is the same exact point system that was used in Chapter 3 Season 1. Now, keep in mind, guys, if you guys are watching this video after points have been reset, then I do recommend that you check the point system and make sure it's the same. I really don't foresee Epic changing the point system, but we do all know that Epic is proud of the changes, so we should give that a look. And of course, if they do change the system, then I'll be coming out with another arena video that includes an explanation for the new point system. On to the next bit of today's video, though. The next question that I see so many people asking is which game mode is the best for gaining points? Now, since the point system hasn't changed since last season, my answer is going to remain the same, and that answer is trios. Overall, trios has the highest points per kill relative to team size. It reduces the risk of losing points through to RNG deaths rather than solos or duos where you can pretty much just die off spawn. And ultimately, myself and others find it to be the best game mode to gain points overall. And this also adds up when you look at the top arena players. For example, Claw, the first person to reach 1 million arena points in Season 1, has over 4,500 trio arena matches compared to only around 340 in duos and 0 in solos. So overall, if you're looking to maximize your point gain, then trios definitely seems to be the undisputed best game mode for those purposes. So getting into the next section of today's video, and now we're going to be talking about my top recommended strategy that you can use to gain arena points fast. So as I mentioned before, you will want to have a trio for this since it is the best game mode currently for gaining points. Now, regarding whether you should play more passive or aggressive, in my opinion, that mostly depends on your division and your confidence with W keying. Obviously, if you're in open league or low contenders, then you should probably just W key since there's little to no bus fare. I think the bus fare starts in Division 4 and goes up 10 points per division until a certain point, or it's like something along the lines of that. After that, once you reach contenders and especially champs, elimination points tend to drop and bus fare goes up, so you may want to consider what you should do. In Champions League, every kill is 10 points, at least in trios. So what you need to consider is if you and your team will be able to get the 7 or 8 kills on a consistent basis that you need to actually rank up. If you can, then a W key playstyle is perfectly acceptable, and it's actually my top recommendation for gaining points fast if you're able to keep up. But if you do struggle with W keying or you're simply better at playing passive, then it's perfectly reasonable to land at a less populated spot, taking you where you look for 20 to 30 plus kills per game. You really shouldn't be putting yourself out there
Alright, welcome back to Random Big Answer for Mini. And today I got an insane thing for you guys. But before we get to that, I'm just gonna say I'm sorry for not being for like a week. I've just been busy with school and stuff. But this time I'm actually for real. I'm not capping this time. So yeah, I'm be trying to upload as much as I can. Today I'm going to be playing a video with a $10 keyboard versus a $500 keyboard. We're gonna see how different the keyboards are, and we're gonna be talking about it. And hopefully we get a win. It's probably not gonna come from a $10 keyboard because the $10 keyboard that I have is actually garbage. If you guys really want to, please drop a like and subscribe. Just code one moment to see this before my ad shop. Please help me reach 400K subscribers. That will really mean the world to me. So yeah, let's get straight to this video, boys. Our boys for the $10 keyboard, we got the Google keyboard. A lot of you guys know about this keyboard, and I've used it before, but I've had a lot of bad memories. It is really, really trash. It is, as you can see, it's really out of the webcam because it's so huge. Okay, but I'm about to get this like ready, boys. Oh, I see him. How did I not hit? How? My aim. Okay, we do not talk about that, alright? What is this? What the heck? break this, alright? We got one kill in the bag with the new keyboard, the $10 Craft keyboard. So thankful. Let's go! Oh my god, I got outplayed. I'm not gonna lie. Imagine getting outplayed by someone with a blue keyboard, bro. Alright, see my next victim right here?
You know what? He still had all the bullets in there.
Oh, wait. Who am I going against, man? These guys are some bots. Oh. Okay, that guy's got 3 bots. Coming up here. What is going on? Oh, bro, I feel like I'm disabled with this, like, keep... Oh my god, chill out. Why are you guys double teaming me? And I still killed you. I outplayed these guys. Bro, I have literally 0 feet. I knew it. Why did I try to go for that clip? Well, I'm such an idiot. Oh, I'm going to play one final game with this garbage keyboard because I don't want to play it. I don't feel satisfied with the last game. But that's my kill, boy. Let's go. Even kill already? Oh, we're in third party this little battle right here. I do not know how I didn't put the Allianz SMG, but it's all good. Let's go, easy kill the bag. Alright, let's go. We got that kill, easy. Ah! That scared me! Oh, no. Okay. Get clipped, let's go! You think I'm scared of you, boy? Oh, it's on fire. I'm dead. I almost choked that. Okay, we're... Okay, well, I mean, he was one shot, I just killed that kill. I can't even see him!
I can't even move. What the
Oh, I got double SMG. Where'd my shotgun go? Oh my god, I dropped my shotgun. That would have been really bad. I kept finding it. We gotta go. Well, I'm laying on top of you gonna do. He's so clueless. Oh, he hates Fortnite. I'm sorry. You need to take that. Okay, I'm just gonna leave me alone. You know, I'm just trying to live life and I have a blue keyboard. Please stop bullying me. He's crap. I'm going against Gargoyle. I'm going against the actual blue right here. Hey, buddy. Okay, let's go. What was the point of fighting me, bro? Let me go, please. Oh, I actually flipped this kid so bad. Come on, bro. We don't have to fight. Oh, there's a lot of people here. Nope, I have to fight. Come on, someone fight this. How many times two people here? Okay, thank you. The keyboard's so bad calling this is right now. I'm so nervous
Not
right
paying
now.
attention.
Nope, that's a lot of damage. Let's go. I'm dying on this kid. With the Booga keyboard. I'm trying to get to Booga. 60 point. Let's go! With the Booga keyboard, boys. With the Booga keyboard, we got a victory royale. Look at this keyboard. We got the fire control keyboard right here. This keyboard is custom built, and it actually looks cool. We got the custom clear case on it with the RGB lights under it, and this sounds super amazing. So I'll get to a game, you'll see how good this sounds. But yeah, this is keyboard right here. Yes, I've seen it once in my channel before, but it is actually insane. All right, let's go. We're in our next arena game. We just ran with the Booga keyboard. Let's see how it goes with the $500 keyboard. Let's see the difference is. I'm so confident that I'm gonna leave till the towers. All right, that's how big this keyboard is. All right.
No way, get off this dumb game.